It goes where it goes.
Beautiful. And I didn't even have my audio on for welcome to the ADHDan podcast, but it happens.
Okay. Off to a good start.
Yeah. So, let me see here. I think we're good. If anybody's in the chat, let me know if the audio is good, how everything's going. Let me hit this light. That was just kind of dramatic effect. Good. Would you mind holding on for a moment? I need to make some tea.
Of course.
Just real quick.
Take your time.
My string fell off. Talk about karma.
Amazing. I am not having tea tonight. I am having beer.
Okay. Should that make for a better episode? Not better than last time, relatively speaking, but just...
Maybe for tonight, honestly.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
So how has everything been going?
Yeah, it's going. It's but it's going.
Okay.
It's good. It's overall good. I was traveling for work last week for the first time in over 2 years. I gave like a full-scale academic talk at a really prestigious institute, and it was hard. And I was there the whole week and doing the whole being an academic thing, and instead of just working from home in front of my computer. And it's kind of a big deal,
Mm-hmm.
So
it was a lot different from what you've been used to then, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right. And that's funny, right? Because it's so familiar to me. I've been doing this for a long time. It's a lot of like what grad school was. It's a lot of, especially leading up to getting the job that I have now. I was doing a lot of visits to other institutions, and it was kind of normal, and it's exhausting, and it's crazy to me thinking back now after having done this last week and being like, I used to do this all the time, and it's been a little over 2 years, and I just, my stamina is lower, and yeah, it's just a lot. It requires a lot of recovery time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So what have the discussions covered? Is it anything, is it like new findings, or is it just kind of going through older things?
Yeah. So basically, typically when you're visiting a place, or just having a visitor at your institution, when you go somewhere, you talk about what you've been doing, like what's the latest. So I actually went to a place where there were a bunch of astrophysicists, mostly theoretical astrophysicists. And I talked to them about the work that I've been doing during the pandemic, which is actually climate science related and atmospheric science related. So I gave this big talk on this like cutting edge research that I'm doing, but I also included at the beginning, like, here's who I am and here's my astrophysical expertise. And
sorry, just checking on something.
No worries. I told them what my expertise was, and etc. So then the rest of the week was filled with chatting with other people about what they're up to, like attending journal clubs. So that's where we all get in a room and somebody has read a paper that was like recently published, like, very cutting edge. Here's something that was very recently done, and they'll like tell us about it, and we'll discuss. And so that's like what the week was full of, was just lots of discussions about what people have been up to in the past, couple years. And hi, Liz. What people are up to in the past couple years, and also like at that institute, what I've been up to, and then what like the broader community is up to in terms of publishing papers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I'm at this seminar. Tell me what you've been up to. What are you
You're at my seminar.
Yeah, like what are you excited about?
Yeah. So at my seminar, I was like, hey, I'm Kirsten. I am an astrophysicist by training. I have a PhD in astrophysics, and I study supermassive black holes and how they impact galaxy evolution. I also study massive galaxy assembly. So that means how did galaxies and what are called clusters of galaxies build up over cosmic time. So I study like what did galaxies look like in the early universe and how did they come to look like what they look like today and live in these really massive clusters. So I said that, here's who I am. Here's references to a couple of papers that I published during my PhD. Here's some stuff that I'm like still working on in the background related to that. And then I said, but for the past year and a half, I've been working as a Schmidt Science Fellow.
And I wanted to ask about that.
Is an interdisciplinary fellowship. What that means is that they take PhDs who have a specialty in one discipline, and they fund them to pivot their research field for their postdoc with the goal of solving the world's most difficult problems. Low key. And so
yeah.
it's all about the idea, the premise of it. I love it so much. The idea is that the most difficult problems in the world today, whether that be dealing with climate change, whether that be in like cutting edge medical research, for the most part is going to require an interdisciplinary approach. Meaning you need diverse minds with a lot of different specialties to come together and collaborate in order to create solutions. And so that's the whole premise of this fellowship. And I am so blessed to have been chosen to be a part of it. And I've been working on understanding atmospheric dynamics, of course, coming into it with my, sort of background in astrophysics, where I think about big data in a different way, right? And so I came in with my skill set and I said, let me apply this to a very specific subset of a problem, a very small part of the problem in relation to the climate. And so I gave a whole talk about that. I talked about these, anyway, I could go on and on.
Well, I'm kind of curious how so you said they pick a number of people who specialize just in various backgrounds. They have different, different walks of life, basically.
Specialties.
So how do they choose the problem or like the issue that you all try to solve?
Okay. So we all applied to solve different problems.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what we do is we, those of us who applied for the fellowship, we proposed our pivot. So I said, I'm an astrophysicist. I want to apply my skills to climate science. I have other friends who said, I specialize in studying this infectious disease, I specialize in my PhD. I studied some aspect of malaria, and now I want to do a different form of biotech research. So I want to help create vaccines, or I want to, in this other part of the field. There's so many.
You really want to figure out singularity.
I do.
Yeah. I feel like that's why you would try to go down that road.
I don't think that that's within the realm of the world's most pressing problems, right? We're talking world hunger.
A lot of them?
I don't know that. I really don't know. It certainly isn't going to solve climate change.
Could we make another Earth?
There is no planet B. Have you not seen this?
Predated to whenever, yeah. better climate.
I mean, okay, but that so does the singularity rely on our like biological bodies still being here on Earth and existing?
I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, you have to define the parameters here.
I mean, we might not be
of your-
here right now anyway, so.
Yes, I know that you.
Don't you know what? After watching that, I feel that singularity and simulation are they're kind of similar, I think. Oh, September says hi to Liz.
But not us.
Not even in here. Although she did start the live stream, so
Thank you, Liz.
gotta give her credit
She's
for
probably
that.
not even watching anymore, but
I
thank you,
think she
Liz.
is.
Okay.
She might be.
I sent the link to my sister. She might
Oh,
be.
great. That would be awesome. I'm trying to think. So,
Okay, wait, you just said that the simulation and the
yeah.
singularity are the same thing. No, that's not.
Well, I don't think they're
so.
the same
Do you-
thing, but I think they could be. They
Like
could intertwine.
we're just the result of someone else's singularity, or like a different humanity or races. Singularity. Singularity.
Yes.
I don't know about that. I don't know
Okay.
about that.
It's possible though.
Okay. Yes, but I mean, we've covered this, right? Like there's very few things that are impossible.
Right. And I just, if anyone is watching who watched the last episode, I did think of something that would change my mind on the moon landing.
Okay, I think you already told me. Go
But
ahead.
I did already tell you. I said
Okay.
if I could see footprints, I think that would sell me.
But your requirement was that you see them with your own eyes through a telescope.
Right, because I've seen those
Which
fake
is-
pictures.
But yes, which is not currently possible in the current technological advancement of telescopes that we have. It is not possible.
But if we had James Webb on Earth, could we see it that way?
Well,
Or that's like a different type of light, though.
yeah, James Webb is looking in the near infrared, but that's okay. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I'm not up on my like moon physics well enough to know.
You gonna phone a friend?
Oh, but I did in that talk last week. I mean, where I was last week.
Mm-hmm.
This person presented about like on a paper about the moon because he like studies like a formation scenario for the moon, like how did the moon form. So he was presenting like the latest results in like theory and experiment of how we're trying to like figure out how the moon formed. And it's remarkable. Do you want to hear about how they think the moon
Yes.
formed?
I just want to say hello to Guy. Do you remember Guy?
Island Burger.
Yeah.
No? Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hi, guy.
And then we got
Very tiny me remembers you.
Sam Eddie Edgar, which actually we have a surprise at the end of this live. I have some video from our podcast that we recorded, so that's exciting. But
Wow.
so I have heard that the moon was once part of Earth.
Yeah, well, sorta. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
First, I will say that if anybody watching, wants us to talk about anything differently, please
Yeah, you guys lead
just
the
jump
conversation.
in. I'm really
Cool
just
thing.
like spitballing here about recent stuff. Oh, Lance Anderson. So that's my sister, but Lance is my sister's husband.
Hi, Lance, sister.
No, it's Jackie.
Oh, I gotcha. I was like trying to follow you there.
It's
Hi,
Lance
Jackie.
is Jackie's husband, and so that's Jackie saying
That's
hi.
awesome.
Yeah. Right. I'm just, the
Right.
moon and the
Yeah.
Earth. So okay. What's really remarkable is that the relative size of the moon and the Earth is like not normal. Like usually the moons of other planets are much smaller.
In comparison to what they're
The
orbiting.
ratio.
Okay.
The ratio of their sizes, right? So the moon is really big, like compared to the size of the Earth in when you look out at the other moons of the other planets.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like it's kind of a mystery. Like a lot of ways that they think moons formed is from what's called a debris disk around the planet. So all of the planets formed out of a disk of stuff when the sun was forming, right? So like all the planets orbit the sun, and the sun was forming, and while material was like accumulating onto the sun, our star, it forms like a disk around it. And from that disk of material, the planets formed. So basically, like if stuff like crashes into each other and you get like high pressure situations, stuff sticks together and like gains mass, right? And so all of the planets like gained mass, and they were able to like clear out their orbit. Like the Earth got so big, right, that it was like bigger than everything else. So it was like knocked a bunch of stuff out. All the stuff didn't like accumulate onto itself.
Okay.
And so a lot of the times what we think happens a lot of the time is that during this formation process, a similar thing happens with the moons. So there'd be like a disk of stuff around the planet, and from that like debris disk of stuff, moons might form. Another way you might get a moon is by it's called capture. So another large object is like kind of flying through space and comes close to the planet and gets captured by the planet.
By its like gravitational pull.
By its gravitational pull.
Okay.
But the moon, right, because it's so big, this was like, I guess, unlikely to happen this way. And it's thought that like a Mars-sized object struck the Earth and broke a big hunk off. And the moon is like some combination of the Earth and this other object that impacted with the Earth and like created the moon around it. So that's like the best working theory, but it's like really hard to prove these things.
Yeah. Well, I think we might be able to prove it one day when we are able to step foot on the moon.
Well, let me tell you about how they're working on proving it using moon rocks that they have. So they've been studying like the chemical composition of the rocks, of the moon rocks, and of the Earth. And anyway, there's just a ton of evidence for this scenario based on chemical composition of rocks, and it's amazing. It's really fascinating. Also, did you know that a satellite just crashed into the moon? Like a rogue, like abandoned satellite?
Well, I thought Putin was going to shoot down a satellite, but I don't know that I necessarily want to go down that road. So let's
and also,
maybe we'll take a question from the audience.
Okay, sounds good.
And I think having the chat raises the ADD, ADHD level to a new extreme. Great. I really do. Because I feel that you'll be having a conversation and something pops up and you're like, oh yeah, that. But,
well, honestly, this is oftentimes this is a big part of what my week was like last week, because you'll be talking about something and some other person will be like, oh, I have a question about that, and then just interrupt you. And oftentimes it's tangential. So I'm very practiced at this.
I apologize for cutting
you
off.
No, it's great. No. What I'm saying is that it's great. I'm saying that I'm very practiced at this. Like it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. So Dan Kroll.
Yes. If I go in a black hole, am I going back in time or ahead? Okay. So black holes are black holes challenge our fundamental understanding of physics in the universe, right? So let me just start with what is a black hole? A black hole is an infinitely dense point in space. So maybe you've heard like the space-time continuum. You might be aware that maybe you've heard that phrase and you have some idea that there's like this relationship between space and time, and how light, like light travels in the universe and behaves differently around really massive objects because they bend or warp space-time. And so a black hole is a very, very unique object. It's often called a singularity because it is a single point, but it is infinitely dense. And so dense, what that means is that if something comes within a certain limit, it accumulates into the black hole and can never escape. Never, nothing, not even light. Okay, light is like the fastest, traveling, like the speed of light is the fastest speed in the universe. But it cannot escape from a black hole, and that's why we call it black hole, basically, because it's not light. It's this invisible, infinitely dense point, and it warps space-time in a way that like we are still very much trying to understand. And so the question, what it's getting at, is the fact that time behaves differently when you're close to a black hole or not. And so like my answer is not very satisfactory. You're not going back in time or ahead necessarily. But you are, if you were going towards a black hole, you actually, okay, let me tell you one more thing. If you were traveling towards a black hole, you would start to get really, really stretched out because of the difference in gravity as you get closer to the black hole. So the difference, gravity is just an acceleration, right? It's like why we feel the weight that we feel on Earth, because Earth has a certain amount of gravitational pull, but a black hole has an immense amount of gravitational pull. So that the closer that you get to it, whatever part of you, let's say you're going in feet first, your feet would start to feel the gravitational pull of the black hole more intensely than your head. So your feet would start accelerating faster than your head. And this would continue so that your body got stretched out into a really, really thin line. This is called spaghettification. And eventually you'd be ripped apart atom by atom. So there's that. But if that weren't happening, if that weren't happening, you, as you approach the black hole, would actually experience time slowing down. So less time would pass for you than would pass for an observer watching you. But that's not to say that you are traveling in time. It's just that you're having a different experience of time based on that acceleration. So right. Guys that want to be 6 feet taller for Tinder need to go through a black hole. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, just kind of just
like a little close and then somehow get out of there, which is not like if you're already that close, like I'm sorry, like you're a goner. You're too close. It's a problem. But a lot of people do have this theory that black holes are sort of like ways that you could time travel, because it's like it's theorized that a black hole with its infinite density, its infinitesimal stretching of infinitesimal is not the word I meant to use. It's infinite stretching of space-time is that would potentially be able to like pop you out the other side at a different place and time in the fabric of space. But that has like no empirical evidence behind it. It's just like a theory.
And I mean, so I don't know much about time travel, or I would have my doctorate in it. I don't know. I
love
just,
it. It's
I really enjoy thinking about it. But one thing that I realized recently is how when we think of time travel, it's always linear. And that's not necessarily the case.
Can you say more? What do you mean?
Because we think of like past, present, future, like it's a straight line.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not necessarily like that.
No, like
Right?
you're saying, like time exists all at once.
Right. Like
All things are
it's
happening all at once.
yeah, and I think we are just I don't know. I don't really know. That's just I, so that's like the end of my thought process, and that's the point when I'm just like, okay, go home, you're drunk. So
Well, there are lots of people who think about that all the time and are not, drunk or, they're remarkably paid to do it. In some cases, very few cases. I wonder how many people are actually paid to like do theoretical physics related to time travel or something. I'm not
there you
so
go.
sure about that.
You need to get on that.
Oh, listen, it's a dog world out here in academia. We maybe could, if we find a safe way of doing it, of time traveling. Why aren't we sending humans through black holes? Oh, because of like what I said, like our full like understanding of the physics is that anything that goes onto the black hole gets ripped apart. And we do have actual evidence that would be the case. And that's actually a big part of what I study. There are these supermassive black holes. So the other thing to know about a black hole will we be harvesting for any particular element? I don't know what that's in relation to.
Like
The moon, maybe?
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe the moon. We'll find out.
I don't know. But back to black holes. If you there are these supermassive black holes in the universe, and what that means is that they're like hundreds of millions of times the mass of our sun, and even up to like 1 billion times the mass of the sun. And they live at the center of massive galaxies. But another thing to know about a black hole is that it's not always just like sucking in material. That's not happening. Rather, they have mass, and just like everything else in the universe with mass, something can be in a stable orbit around the black hole. So if I'm far enough away from the black hole, I can just be orbiting around it merrily, no worries. But if I'm too close, that's where you have all these catastrophic
Dan,
effects.
I mean, you're gonna probably end up a lot taller than 6 feet, but you'd just be ripped
Like,
down to your atoms.
However tall you would be if you strung all your atoms next to each other. I don't know how that even really works. I've been trying to understand string theory for a while now. I was wondering if Kirsten could simplify it. No, I can't simplify it. String theory is wild.
I watched a video of a guy who disproved string theory, and a number of universities wanted him, and he was like, I'm staying in Hawaii. I'm a surfer guy. I parasail. I'm just like,
was he at the University of Hawaii?
I think that might be where
I just like need to add one thing though, Dan. Like nobody has proved or disproved string theory. It's still a viable theory.
And I pretty much figured that, but he was like, oh yeah, it was easy. I figured this out. I mean, what are you talking about? Now I need to go back in my search history or watch history from like a year ago, but yeah.
My honest truth is that I'm not very well prepared to talk about string theory, but I have listened to a number of talks and read a fair amount about it. It's fascinating. Do I think it's fits within the description of our universe? No, not necessarily, because I'm such like an empiricist. I'm such an experimentalist. There are parts of theory that I really like, but I'm only willing to go so deep as there's some amount of evidence for it. Otherwise, it just gets too out there for me, and I like to stay a little bit grounded. So, Guy, I wish that I could like say more. If I were like really prepared specifically to talk about string theory, like I might be able to help. But at the moment, like I'm not quite on that level. It has a lot to do with like the multiverse. Like in string theory, it's like these these little like many dimensions. Like instead of just 3 dimensions, there's like 12, I don't know how many dimensions, so many dimensions, and it has all these connections to like a multiverse. And these strings are these like topological features in the universe. And yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly also what you might want to like know, but I just don't know if there's much. Yeah, we'll do it on another podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have Guy
Yeah.
on for it so he can explain it. Break it down.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
That'll be a good one. Next week.
Yeah. There's a really good book called The Disordered Cosmos, and it's by a person named Chanda Prescott-Weinstein, who is a theoretical physicist and wrote this book that is really so Chanda is a person of color in the field and is one of the only like tenure track professors in this field. One of the only people of color in that field who is a tenure track professor. So the book is also a lot about being a person of color in academia, but it also contains a lot of physics, and including some stuff about string theory, and as well as like other just theoretical aspects of our universe. So I recommend that. It's a very good book.
Here you go, Guy. Dan, I'm glad you probably are 6 foot.
A lot of obsession with this.
He just wants to be taller.
Well, I'm 5'4", in case anyone was wondering. Happily 5'4". Well, you know, sometimes I would like to be taller. Pretty short.
So let me ask you this. What about James Webb? What are some things, are you, like, I feel like once it reached L2, I just kind of watched a little bit. I saw the mirror alignment. I saw the selfie. And then I'm just kind of like, I'll give it a little while.
You were like, I'm done. They did release they released like their first light images, meaning they like open up the detector and they saw some stuff, but it's just like blurry, because they still had to go through all these calibrations, and you know, they've got to like focus everything. But the good news is that Webb is finally in its position and is, you know, going to be taking some really, really amazing data. So what do you want to know about it? You want to know like what its main science goals are? You want to know like what I care about?
I'm just wondering if you know of any updates. It's just now
yeah,
kind
there
of
you go.
just
That's
in
the
alignment.
updates that I have for you. Yeah. They're
Okay.
calibrating. They're getting ready to take their first science observations, and yeah, it's great, exciting. All's looking well.
Good.
Yeah.
Dan is 6 foot AF. Yeah, we'll drink to that.
We're still there. I see. Since learning about space and time and black holes, do you believe in any kind of religions?
Dan, did you even watch the last podcast?
Do you even know who I am? No, I'm just
yeah.
Dan and I talked a fair amount about this, about my my belief systems, I guess. I was raised in a non-denominational Christian home, and grew up believing all of that, and throughout my life went through various sort of reckonings with that belief system. I would say that my decision to study astrophysics challenged a lot of those beliefs. So there was like a period of time where I was very absorbed by the science and by what we can like prove and know. And now, as like having time to integrate all of that, I have my own sort of system of beliefs in spirituality and integration. And I spoke on what that is last time, but
I think that's, I don't know, it's still just a common theme, and just so many more people are just kind of taking that approach. They're just taking little pieces from just experiences in life and kind of, I don't know, creating their own path. I don't want to say God or religion. I guess maybe their own
They could be. Some people are
spiritual
definitely
journey.
creating their own God. Yeah.
Right. Right.
I completely agree. And we are we are living at the time where information is right, like over the top. There's so much information and there's so much cutting edge research, right? Like people, there are philosophers, there are physicists, there are anthropologists, right? Like who literally are trying to address this like big picture of the meaning of life. The reason I brought anthropologists into it is because I feel like people study like past people, right? Past humans. Like they do a lot of research on like when Jesus existed, right? Like when he like what was happening, who like, what was happening in the world, like what, like, just looking for these historical records, because for all time, humans have been especially looking up to the stars and asking, how did I get here? What is the meaning of life? And we are living in a time where we know more than we ever did, and that's just going to continue to be true, right? With these like exponential advancements in technology and in communication, right? And yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I think we, I'm losing my mind.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Maybe. But...
Well, rewind a little bit. What were you just saying?
Exponential advances in technology. That's when you went.
Oh, yeah. So we have all of these advances, but at the same time, still no one knows how we got here. No one knows the meaning of life. So, I mean, those things are nice to have. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I feel like I'd like to poll the world and see how many people think they know what the meaning of life is.
Yeah, the more knowledge we get, the more questions we ask. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, because we're never going to have all the answers, and that is beautiful. Like, maybe the meaning of life is asking questions and becoming better because of it.
Right. And actually, you kind of touched on one of my rapid fire questions already. So I guess I'll ask it now.
Oh, okay. I was like, are we there already? Did we do it?
No, you beat to it. And I just feel like I would really like to know the answer to this now. You ready for it? Just one question.
Okay.
If we are hurling through space at some speed relative to something, why do we see the same constellations at the same times of the year as our ancestors? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. This is not a good rapid fire question, Dan. I have to like explain.
Oh,
physics.
I know. And this was the whole point, but I really want to know the answer to it now.
Well, good, because I'm glad you didn't give me like 10 seconds to answer, because I would have been like, I have to literally explain.
Love and happiness, meaning to life.
Yeah. Sorry. The question is, why do we see constellations all year, and why are they the same as our ancestors, given that we're hurling through space? Okay, so I think this is gonna actually, I think I can make this fairly simple. Okay. Oh, I wish I like had some props.
Yeah.
Okay. Sun, right? The sun, this is the earth. The earth is spinning and going around the sun, right? That's what's happening, right? So one rotation of the earth is a day, and one orbit of the sun is a year. Meanwhile, the sun is in basically a fixed orbit around the center of the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way is a spiral galaxy with a sort of like blob-like center and spiral arms. You know what this looks like?
Mm-hmm.
And that entire system is rotating around the center of the galaxy. So, and that's been happening forever in relative to humans.
But so the
So all
constellations
of
that
that
we see, are they all
moving
stars that are
also
in our? Okay,
galaxy.
I think I might need you to define some terms real quick. So
Love it.
we have
What?
like my house, we have my block, we have my city, we have my
We started small.
county. So how does that build our system? That's
Yeah. Stars. With the exception that would look like stars to your naked eye, but are galaxies, and you can rarely see them. You have to be at a really, really, really dark place. They're actually entire galaxies. That would be, I guess, something called the LMC and the SMC, the Large Magellanic Cloud and the Small Magellanic Cloud. Those are actually satellite galaxies of the Milky Way. Okay, so all of space is thing
I love this.
orbiting other thing, but in actuality, it's two things orbiting their center of mass between them. So we don't just, okay, I'm going to make that complicated. Let me finish answering your question. So your question is, so we Earth is orbiting around the sun, one star in the Milky Way galaxy out of hundreds of billions of stars. And the other planets in our solar system, so sun, solar system, also orbit around the sun. Right. The Milky Way galaxy. Okay. We're out. Yeah, with the exception of a few. I was just going to explain too that like we are not just orbiting the sun actually, but we're orbiting the common center of mass between us and the sun. So a point of wherever the common, and that just so happens that because the sun is so much bigger than the Earth, we're effectively orbiting the center of the sun. But Jupiter is so massive that it causes the sun to wobble a little bit. Meaning the center of mass between the sun and Jupiter is not actually in the very center of the sun, but is offset in a way that makes it wobble a little bit.
Okay.
Isn't that cool? Does that make sense? Do you have a question?
Yeah, it kind of made me think, does the sun have seasons? Like, does it...
Does the sun have seasons?
I mean...
No, I mean, sort of. So it has periods of being more active and less active, but it's not the same as the seasons. We have seasons because we're orbiting the sun.
Right.
And, well, actually, mostly we have seasons because the Earth is tilted on its axis.
Yes. And that makes the days and the nights shorter or longer. Also, right? Well, I was thinking if it wobbles, does that do anything to... Like, how fast is it wobbling? Like, is it...
Like, it's like with the orbit of Jupiter, right? So like there's like this, because everything in space has a gravitational pull on everything else.
Right.
Meaning like the Earth is pulling on the sun, but it's very small compared to the sun, right?
Right.
It'd be like if like a really, really giant human were standing in this room and I were like trying to like push them over or something, right? Like I'm too small. They're not really gonna move.
Unless it was
Sort of
6
like
foot
that.
Dan.
That's not the. Then I could push them over.
Yeah, you can knock him down.
Stars need some consciousness. Why am I seeing the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper thousands of years? Yeah. That's basically the question we just answered.
Yeah, I think that was the question.
And then when stars need some consciousness. Yeah, that would be pretty dope. Stars could just like tell us about their life. When humans came into existence, it was after the expansion and creation of time.
Yeah, because 13.8 billion years, right?
You got it.
I got that. So yeah, so that's.
It was long after that. Long after that. Humans are a blip in the grand scheme of cosmic time. Like all of human existence, all going all the way back, is just compared to the rest of the existence of the. Oh, I'm being given more beer.
Hi, Willem.
Oh, he can't hear you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Say hi. He's feeling shy.
It's like, eh.
He was like, hi, but he didn't like it.
Oh, I love that. That looks awesome on the screen. It's just like part of his head.
You could just see you entering, but without seeing the rest of your body.
That's good.
Pretty funny. That's Willem, my fiance. Yeah.
We'll have to like sometime just have a FaceTime, even if it's for a few minutes, so I can just say, "Hey, how's it going?"
That sounds great. Yeah. I'll tell him.
Another thing before. Oh yeah, humans will exploit anything. I mean that's
what? If we find out how black holes work, do you think humans will exploit? Yeah, totally. Always looking for the advantage, right? Yeah. Like it's some weird wiring, right? Like some weird. Oh, thank you, Dan. Some weird wiring of like we must make the most and be the most all the time, but it didn't used to be that way, right? I don't think so. I don't know. I wonder. I guess maybe it did, and that's why we are where we are, right?
Right. Another thing about being why we are where we are. I don't know.
I'm with you.
So I did see one thumbnail on YouTube. Yeah, a thumbnail. I didn't even watch the video. But I was hoping you could shed some light on the topic.
Quality investigative skills.
Yeah. So this goes back to the bell.
Oh, yeah.
And do you remember who it was? You said that you forgot his name last time.
I didn't forget his name. His name is Chuck Bennett, but I forgot what he calls the bell.
Oh, okay. Well, one of the things with James Webb, like I said, what I got from the thumbnail and the title.
Yeah.
They think they might prove Stephen Hawking's like dual bell theory. So like instead of just one, they're like we have an exact duplicate of everything in this universe.
So they think that Webb will be able to prove the existence of a parallel universe.
Yeah, and
Webb's not going to be able to prove it.
And is that even a Stephen Hawking theory, or is that just complete clickbait?
Sounds like clickbait, but it might be. Yeah. So lots of theoretical physicists, including Stephen Hawking, have what's interesting is they'll spend a lot of time thinking about a topic, right? And thinking about how in our framework, what we know about the cosmos and what we know about physics, including like general relativity and special relativity, or sometimes even outside of those things, they'll just like theorize about, right? Because a lot of what they do is theorize how the universe came to be, and they'll spend time thinking really, really hard about something. They'll publish a paper on it, and then like they often move on, right? Because they're not going to be able to prove these things. Like maybe they could prove that it's possible mathematically, and that's interesting, right? To prove that something could exist in terms of like the math or the physics. But just because something could exist doesn't mean that like we have evidence that that's how it is. And so a lot of times people will like maybe I have no idea, I'm just saying maybe Stephen Hawking published some paper about a parallel universe. My understanding of parallel universes is that if there's one other universe, then it's like a multiverse situation, and I have no idea what determines how many or how that works exactly. But so what I'm saying is it's possible that Stephen Hawking maybe published something on this or was on somebody else's paper, because like we collaborate a lot.
It could have even been something he scratched down in like first grade, and somebody was like, I'm going to take this and run with it.
Yeah.
That's
but going back to your question, like I haven't seen anything about, like I'm pretty well versed on what Webb is going to be able to do, and what it's going to be able to do is remarkable, but proving the existence of a parallel universe is not within the realm of something that Webb will prove or disprove.
Okay. I love oh yeah, Dan is actually an ordained minister.
Amazing.
How many weddings have you done, Dan? I think it's like 2 or 3, maybe more.
Wow.
I was thinking of something else. So how you say that black holes are something that just defies like how we see physics and how we understand. So how do you study it?
Well, yeah, okay. That was maybe it's true in a way. So what I mean is that there's nothing else like it in the way that it like warps. He's done 3. Do you think aliens is in techno-dubs? Redshift, real or fake? Real. Easy one. I can talk about Redshift at some point, but what does music sound like through a black hole?
There's a question.
Damn.
That's good.
So sound doesn't travel through space, like through the vacuum of space. You've maybe heard this because like Star Wars is criticized for all the pew pews, but yeah. So I've literally never thought about that question, but given that black holes don't have an atmosphere, like, sorry, but I don't know that sound actually travels through them. It's a really sad answer. We could like, I don't know, we could like, trying to think of like a really cool way to be like, we could like send a record player into it and have it get ripped apart, but I wouldn't still like, I can't bring myself to deviate from the physics to like make something up cool.
Okay, this is it. Somewhere on the other side of the black hole, you have Santa's elves, and they take each molecule or atom and they just rebuild it. So that's cute. How you get through. You do get torn apart here, but then
there's no sound in space. That's right. In the vacuum of space, sound waves. Yeah, it's so basically we have sound waves can travel because we have an atmosphere effectively. I don't want to no, but that doesn't mean that aliens don't have. Okay. Let's back up.
Let me go back because there's no sound in space and there's no wind in space or on the moon.
I'm going to aliens. I'm like,
okay, let's go.
Aliens. Okay, aliens mean, when we say that, we mean like other, I'm assuming you're talking about intelligent life. Doesn't like, and then you have to define what you mean by intelligent, which is
because it could be
as well.
A plant.
Dinosaurs, rawr. Yeah, or a plant.
Yeah.
I feel like you should make up your own punchline to how do I hit on an alien. But so aliens would live on other
Coneheads.
planets, and in order for, in theory, especially if we're talking about carbon-based aliens like humans, they need like an atmosphere with oxygen, et cetera, et cetera. So they absolutely listen to music and probably have music that they've created that we've never heard. You don't want to be an alien ever? Well, then don't leave Earth and go to another planet, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't even know.
Maybe so that how do I hit on an alien? I feel like you should read some Octavia Butler.
What is that?
Octavia Butler, she was a writer and wrote science fiction, and there was a lot of like aliens and
Like
also
romance?
A lot of like, so like parts of it there was definitely romance and like
There you go,
like
Dan.
relationships and like
Go to space, get taller, get an alien.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, Dan.
Amazing.
Yeah, so do you think that there are other beings out there like us, like what we have created here? What are the odds? What kind of math can you look at?
Love it. I love that. Yeah, I thought you were going to ask me this last time. This is like probably the number one question I get asked is when people find out I'm an astronomer, like an astrophysicist. Like everybody wants to know about exoplanets and aliens.
Last
always.
time I told you, I just felt like
a lot.
Yeah.
I know you have deep thoughts about space and time. So
well, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
I respect it. Oh, absolutely. Way beyond like, are there aliens? No, I'm just kidding. That's a really good question.
Dan.
No, I'm joking. I know that was so mean. I did not mean that at all. The are there aliens question is amazing. And it's actually becoming a really, really, really hot field because our detection of exoplanets, or planets that are outside of the solar system, so planets that are orbiting another star, that field has been blowing up over the past 10 years, but really like even in the past 5 years. It's remarkable. So there's something called the Drake equation. Going to your question, Dan, about math and likelihood. Do you know about the Drake equation?
I saw a thumbnail. That's it.
Amazing. Yeah, so there's something called the Drake equation. There's this guy who was like, let's think about all the different components that would have to go into there being life. And so I'm not going to remember it all in detail, but it's basically like the fraction of stars that have planets around them, the fraction of those planets around those stars that have like an atmosphere, or like, and especially if you're talking about like carbon-based life. So the other thing is like there could be some form of life that we really absolutely cannot conceptualize because all we know on Earth is carbon-based life, right? Like all we know on Earth is like water, oxygen, people, plants, great, right?
Could this go in the direction of other dimensions, or is that just kind of like derailing all of it? Like something that, like, we know this Earth, but then we know 3 dimensions. We know what we think is time, but is there something that's alive? I don't know. Maybe that's like a complete different.
No, it's a big thought, right? It's like a good thought, but it's not exactly where I'm going. I'm going like within the confines of our universe and what we know.
Yeah.
You go fractions of stars. Okay, how many stars are in the universe, right? And then we know that planets form around stars. So what fraction of stars have planets? What fraction of those planets like live in the habitable zone? Have you heard that? Like what's the word that I want? Buzzword. What fraction have actually managed to develop life, and then what fraction of like that life has developed into into intelligent life and how do you define intelligent life. So there's all these like more philosophical parameters that are sort of in there, but like if you just sort of, you can like apply, you can put numbers on those, right? You can say, what if it's this fraction? But the point I think that I'm trying to get to is that like the likelihood that at some point in time there was a planet around a star that developed life is extremely high. Extremely high. Now, we don't really know the probability of that life developing into be an intelligent life. But given that it happened to us, I think a lot of scientists take the approach that, including me, that like we live at a special time, but like, yeah, we're special, but we're not that special, right? Like,
Right.
physics and life and biology happens regardless of us. So.
And back to we have all of this information now. We're overloaded with information, but we still don't know the finite reason for our existence. I feel like that's kind of a parallel.
But like, yeah, it is. I agree with that. I mean, I'm going to speak for myself, but like, there's no reason. There's no reason. The reason is physics and biology. But one could really argue to or pessimists. Yeah. Or just like half of the glass has stuff, right? It's like I think it's like very realist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do tend to fall on the more like pessimistic or cynical side of things most of the time though. So, maybe don't follow in my footsteps.
No, I feel the exact same way. It's just, I mean, if you look at the grand scheme of everything, I don't know. It's like there's no point, but I'm here, so I'm just gonna do this thing. Just
that there is a point, so that you create point. You create the point.
I like it. That's good.
Is the reason why Jeff Beeps trying to fly into space is because they want to leave Earth?
Oh, Bezos, I'll bet.
Yeah. They.
I think I asked this last time too about.
I'm refraining.
Are they trying to?
Language. I hate those guys. No. Yeah. Like they are.
They're trying to get away.
Yeah, they're like, okay, so like Elon Musk's whole thing is that he like wants to die on Mars or some shit.
And I want to.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. I also want to know why you don't like Elon Musk. So maybe we'll try to remember that I mean, and you can also let me know whenever you need to go. So that's all.
Okay. Um, I mean, they're elitist, and I'm talking about Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, those two, like unjustifiably rich humans who are going to space. It's like a pissing contest for one thing, right? Like
But if you had the money, don't you
like,
think you would do it?
no, I care too much about the planet. I've always wanted to go to space. I would go to space if there was a reason for me to go to space. I have always wanted to go to space, but not enough to actually try to become an astronaut and do science in space, because that just like wasn't my life path. So then I'm resolved to like, no, I'm not gonna go to space unless there's like a very good reason for me to go to space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So no, I wouldn't do what they're doing because I care about the planet. I will say that like Elon Musk has helped make advances, like technological advancements, right, with his like Falcon rockets and things like this that have been helpful because NASA's budget is not large enough, et cetera, et cetera. So like he does help get useful things into space. I will give them that. I'll give SpaceX that.
Unless it has the last name Zuckerberg on it.
But I won't really give that to Elon Musk, right? Like he hired extremely, extremely intelligent people who do not like reap enough of the benefits of their labor, in my opinion.
I do agree with that. And actually, Case told me something along those lines. He said he doesn't think Elon Musk is that smart. He said he just has really smart people around him. I was like, well, I mean, I think he is smart.
Who said that?
Case, my son.
Case?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But he does like Elon Musk. He does.
But okay, so here's all right.
Yeah, he wants to start his own think tank. He actually wants you to be on it. He wanted to know how much it would cost.
I am in. I'm already in. I'm cheap. Relatively. What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? What are you saying?
Elon Musk.
Oh yeah, he's just not a nice person. I'll just say that. He's just not a nice. He's a bad person. Like he's mean to people. And he it's not a good person. That's why I don't like him. Basically.
Jeffrey Beeps. Wait, what's Sam's
Are
question?
octopus actually aliens that would more than likely take over the earth if they lived longer than humans? Listen, Sam, love this question. I skipped some other question. What's my favorite planet and why? I used to say it was Jupiter. Jupiter's amazing.
That was a rapid fire question.
Really, really cool, but actually it's Earth now. Earth is the best, like arguably the best, the most beautiful. Like, have you been outside? Oh my gosh. Is there any way the alien?
When you argue your favorite planet, would you just be arguing your favorite view of the other planets?
Yeah. What? I mean, yeah, that's what we always do when we argue our favorite anything, right?
Yeah. Okay. Proceed. Is there any way the aliens we know of could be human time travelers from the future?
I don't think we know of any aliens, but if we did know of them, well, if we knew of them, I mean, that'd be a whole other thing. Time travel is just so difficult. So I love the ideas of it. Like I love thinking about time travel in theory. Like I love science fiction about time travel and movies and whatnot. But it's just so tricky physically. So I don't know. Yes, if octopus could, like, I love this theory. The idea that octopuses are aliens. Love it. Good theory. I don't know how long they actually live.
And then we're from lobsters, right?
We evolved from lobsters?
Yeah. One, I don't know if Guy's still here, but he was telling me something about that. Jordan Peterson, his lobster theory.
Huh.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd buy it, probably. If I could see like the science, then yeah, I mean, sure, why not?
Yeah.
I don't, but it's like not, it's not that we evolved from lobsters, right? Like there's like, it's all about common ancestors.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean,
So it's not like a
trace-
direct lineage.
yeah. Yeah.
Like-
I don't, yeah. Ever been to Jupiter? Never. No, but I love that song, Drops of Jupiter, you know?
Okay.
I don't know if that's what it's called, but do you know the song? I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Train.
Train.
That's it.
Don't really like Train, but I did like that song.
I always say I don't like Train, and then when they come on the radio, I'm like, catch myself kind of like getting into it. And at this point, it's probably more reminiscing,
Mm-hmm.
like when the songs came out. So,
Fair.
okay, I'm gonna
Are
ask
we
you.
here?
I think I'm gonna ask you some questions. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you can't see
I
that
can see
side
it.
of it.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you some questions, and then maybe we can go back for some more questions from the audience. But
Oh yeah, Guy says it's a wild theory. He wants to know more. He only just wants to know the things I don't know that I'm not prepared to talk
yeah,
about.
so he's going to come on and
Sorry.
explain everything.
I know
Okay.
a lot of things. I swear.
Rapid fire questions. This is the last chance for everyone else to ask questions also. So get your questions ready.
Get him in. Get him in.
Question number 1.
Yeah.
Name 5 daily carry items. 5
Like
things
5 things I carry every
carry
day.
with you all the time.
5. Phone, wallet, keys. Not really keys. Actually, fun fact, I don't really carry keys anymore because we have like a digital lock on our house. 5 things. I don't carry 5 things.
I just must carry a
Chapstick?
lot of stuff.
Chapstick. But that's only in the winter. I don't like okay, like if I bring my purse, there are more than 5 things in there, but like don't need those things.
They're
Like,
just
what's
all-
in my purse? What's in my purse right now? It's a mystery.
Right.
And I
It's kind
don't
of like
carry
my
my purse
head.
with me all the
Never
time.
know what's in there, what you're going to get.
A mask these days.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah. My dog.
Okay. Question number 2. This was actually a viewer submitted question. Jared submitted this question. So here it is.
Someone not here submitted a question.
I think they were in here earlier, and I don't think they're here now, but I thought it was a good question.
Maybe they'll
And-
circle back.
And it's
Right.
kind of a lot of what we have talked about.
Okay.
With special relativity, and you have more than 10 seconds, so don't stress. With special relativity and time dilation, it appears time travel forward, the future twin paradox, he put, is possible. But what about time travel to the past?
Okay, but like the twin paradox is not actual time travel. Okay, so the twin paradox is that like you have a twin, you're born at the exact same time, and then that person is sent on a spaceship that travels really, really fast, like some high fraction of the speed of light. And so they experience time differently. This is kind of what I was talking about
And
earlier.
they would
with
be
black holes,
younger,
when you're
the person who's traveling?
yeah, and then they would get back and less time would have passed for them than passed for you on Earth. That's not actually time travel. That's like it's an experience of special relativity, a phenomenon that occurs from traveling through space-time really, really fast. I feel like that's like unsatisfactory maybe, but
No,
what's
I
the
think-
question? Like
So,
that we
Yeah.
can't travel back in time?
yeah, and then at the end it says, but what about time travel to the past? And
Yeah.
and you definitely, I mean, you obviously have letters with your name, so you know more. You're more educated in this. But I was thinking, like, define time travel, because, like, is that your actual being in that time, or would it be like the idea that you could go out into space so far so fast, look back at Earth with a telescope and see the Civil War? Like, because I feel like that's almost
You'd have to
time.
travel so much faster than the speed of light, though, which is not possible. Well, not
Right,
possible, right? Correct.
right. Not
But yeah,
currently.
you'd have to travel so
So
much faster than the speed of light. Like I need to think a little bit more careful about the physics of that. But yeah, no, I love. But your way of thinking is amazing. Like, this is true. Like, this is like a really complex topic. What is time, right? Like, also, especially because we are humans, all we can do is talk about the universe in a human time scale, right? Like, that's why we're like, 13.8 billion years, that's human years. Like, it's fascinating, especially given what we know about special relativity and the experience of time. Yeah, amazing.
Oh, I forgot I was doing rapid fire questions. Sorry.
Wait, did you ever watch that video I sent you after our last chat, the egg? All right, you have homework. I sent you a video.
I watched the moon one.
No. I sent you a video called The Egg from Kurzgesagt.
I don't.
And I was like, you have to
remember.
watch this. Dan, no, come on. I'm gonna go back through. Okay, well, I'm plugging it here. Go watch it, okay?
Okay.
Will you do it? Will you watch it?
Like right now?
No.
Oh.
Like,
I mean, if I didn't think it would blow everything up, I would try to put it on the screen.
All right, but this is a plug. Kurzgesagt, do you know that YouTube channel? There's a YouTube channel called Kurzgesagt. That means briefly said in German, I think. And so it's like founded by this German guy. Okay, first of all, if you want to know about anything at like a basic level, pretty much go watch some Kurzgesagt videos if they have one on it.
Do they have like a whole explain like I'm 5 category?
I mean, most of their videos are sort of like that. And like, so they have like very practical, like objective, like science videos. Then they have like sort of an in-between scenario, like what would happen if like 10 nuclear bombs went off on the planet or something. Yeah, like the physics of that.
Is that a real video? Because I think I just watched.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's like cartoony with like these little birds. That's Kurzgesagt.
Yes.
Okay. Now they have another category that's like philosophy. And there's a video called The Egg, which I sent to you, and it's amazing. And it's a video about existence and about time and about like being human, and and God, and it's so good.
Okay, I'm on it.
Yes, The Egg, Kurzgesagt. It starts with a K. Just like try to spell Kurzgesagt, Kurgz. Put some T's, put some stuff in there, and put The Egg, and it'll pop up. I don't know how to spell it.
I'll just look through my watch history, and I'll find, because I know it was within the past week I've watched their channel, because they have a good JFK one.
They have so many. They're so good. I love them. They're so good. I have their book about the immune system.
Question number, I don't have any idea what number we're on right now.
Maybe like 3 or 4.
Moon landing, false or false?
True.
And actually, okay, so the next question is the one that we talked about. If we're traveling through space, how are we seeing the same constellations?
Oh yeah.
So we already did that.
We did it.
Okay. Here's one for you.
Mm-hmm.
You just unlocked time travel.
Okay.
What is the first thing you do?
Okay, are we assuming that time travel means like I can only stay on Earth time travel?
No, this is completely open. It's a free
So it's
for
like
all.
space time travel?
Yeah, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I definitely traveled to like another planet first. See, check out what's going on there. Ask them questions about like how long like those creatures have been around and what they're doing. Um,
But how would you
yeah.
know which planet? Or
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Just like if I could just be like, okay, I want to time travel to a place in space and time where there are other creatures that like are intelligent and not humans. If I could just like if we're I mean, you said this was like a free for all, right?
that's
So if I
true.
was just
That's true.
literally like, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but if and without that, I don't know that I would really time travel. Like
What
I'm
about
not that
Earth time?
interested. That's
Like,
what I'm saying. I'm not that interested in like going to our past. I'm not that interested in going to our future either. What's to be
I agree.
gained? So
Hmm.
I don't know.
That's acceptable. I'll take that.
I think
Only months, I
Kirk.
believe. The A. Captain Kirk Kazoo, right?
I don't know.
False. And I mentioned it briefly earlier that
Mhm.
after this live, I'm going to play. It's like 20 minutes from Sam Edgar's podcast episode because we recorded for almost 4 hours. So
Why?
I'm just cutting it down in chunks because I haven't seen him for, it was probably 15 years almost.
Mm.
So, but that's just completely doesn't matter to you at all.
Mm. What are you guys talking about in those 20 minutes?
Well, really, we only get through the gifts in the name plaque. Not a whole lot. Just a lot of, but it is pretty cool because we, he doesn't know this yet, but one of our friends, oh yeah, there it is. That's it. I love it. And
it's very good.
That was way more work than I was expecting, and it didn't work out the way I expected. But yeah.
Next time we get like a really sunny day, I'll try to like maybe catch something interesting or something.
Well, originally I thought about mounting a flashlight or a laser or something on there, so it would.
And then you got like too deep, and you were just like, "That's never happening."
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah,
I can't even get this thing to stay standing. Like,
yeah, I just couldn't get the prism to attach to it, so
yeah,
it's like ready to throw in the towel.
Yeah. Did we do it?
I think so.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. But thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, my pleasure. Very easy. Good
and
stuff.
Actually,
sorry I didn't have all the answers, you know.
No.
I'm not sorry. I don't have all the answers, but also like it's very in my nature to be like, ooh, I want to know everything.
Right.
It's a problem. It's a real problem.
Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
You have to tell Willem I said thank you for lending you to us for an hour, 2 hours.
Okay, but like he doesn't. I mean, I'm not gonna do that because I'm my own person with control of my own time. I know, I get it.
True,
I get it. It's a
true.
thing that we say to people with like partners and families, but
right.
You know, if somebody chooses to do something,
and I just know how valuable time is.
Yes.
So I mean, amazing. Just for both of you. Yes.
Stupid defensive thing for me to say. I'm sorry.
No, I liked it. It was good. If this was not a live video, I would make that the tease.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think my patrons.
Always a good time. Yeah, good time chatting with you. Just wanted to say.
Great. I also thank Anthony Menzia for the intro and outro music. Yeah, I think we're good.
And I'll thank you everyone who joined and asked questions.
Yes. You're all wonderful. Okay.
Mhm.
Hit it, Liz. Good.
How are we doing?
How are you? It's you. It's not like before you'd have to have the cord cross your body if...
Whoa, I can really hear you.
That's the whole point of it. You can do that.
You're getting it. So satisfying. Tastes like peanut butter and chocolate.
You remember Girth Brooks?
Girth Brooks. I still say that saying to this day.
All right.
All right.
Welcome to the ADHDan podcast.
We started?
Listen here,
What?
Yes, we're started.
Well, you got to have like a 3, 2, 1. Where's that? Like,
I don't do that.
Where's the helmet?
The slate? What helmet?
Your
astronaut helmet?
Yeah.
It's back there. Do you want to wear it for the whole episode?
Oh, I thought you put that thing on and then you say that.
No.
Okay, start your show.
Listen, I'll start my show when I want to start my show.
But you won't tell me when you start.
Welcome to the ADHDan podcast.
Goes where it goes.
That's good enough.
Right.
Good enough for me.
And we're going to get there.
Today I have with me the bassist who opened for Punchline multiple times, Fall Out Boy 19 years ago,
Once.
with his band Destroy Elroy. You're
Once.
still together, right?
Hiatus.
Hiatus.
Long hiatus waiting. That was Jared. He had the hyenas. Real far up there.
Well, I mean, since you were on bass, you had the low.
I had the low anus. And he had the higher end of the anus.
Where's Jeremy fall in that?
Mid anus. Mid anus.
A true Kung Pao connoisseur.
Yes.
The man on the milk carton.
That you made.
We have Sam Eddie Edgar. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we might have to use that later.
But anyway, what do you got next?
I don't really know. I just have all kinds of random things.
That's fine.
that
I probably have
can just...
ADHD like you do.
What in that? What do you... Turn it like this way. So we met, and I don't think I even realized this just because of this situation, but the first time we met was the day Tony died, right?
I think I met you maybe 2 times before that with Steve, but we didn't like talk much.
Yeah.
And then after Tony died, I went with you guys. It was like a memorial for him.
Oh, yeah.
And that's whenever like we all kind of like really, because I think you were with us, or no, Steve was with us. He was actually at Destroy Elroy's practice.
I was with you guys too.
Were you with us, or who called? Somebody called you.
I think Liz texted me and said Tony was in a car accident, and I was just kind of like, oh, okay. I mean,
and we were in like mid practice playing.
Yeah.
And then
they're just accidents all the time. And then after you guys were wrapping up practice, we were like, let's go to Steve's and watch the Punchline VHS or something. And the whole way over there, it was like, ooh, a garden.
Yeah. We were having a good time.
Yeah.
And
then I remember exactly where we were. We were right at the light by Jaggard. And Liz called and said that Tony died. And it was just like, I don't know. That's crazy.
Oh, you were young. One of your friends just died, Yeah. I mean, I didn't know him. I wish I would have known him, but I didn't know him.
Yeah.
But then I just, me, Jeremy, and Jared started we were hanging out with you guys a lot, so we like felt it was like our obligation to go and and go to the memorial with you guys
Yeah.
because we were friends.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
No problem. And I noticed that's whenever I noticed how good you guys were as musicians because you guys went up there and were playing songs for him, and I was like, wow.
That's like a different playing, like kind of pop punk music, and then going to that.
Yeah.
I think it really helped me as a musician.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Because
for sure.
I'm sure they taught you some things.
Hey, here's my belt. I don't have it on, so my pants are going to be off soon.
But okay, I got a few things for you.
Okay.
You ready for your few things?
Yeah, I got some stuff for you too. So who's going first?
But it doesn't matter to me. Do you want to flip a coin?
Let's flip a
here's a
pen.
giant-
flip a pen.
giant coin.
No, flip one of your pins.
Why don't do you, okay, flip it a couple times and see if it lands on the same side every time. Okay.
Okay.
You're the guest, so
ADHDan Ty Ayers pin.
yeah.
The thing is he handed you this stuff, all this stuff, and nobody saw what he handed you.
I know, so I threw a
Yeah,
picture in
so
there.
here, where's the?
And actually, I didn't add his video from
right.
playing at Hollidaysburg with Jimmy either, so I will add that video now. So you can see Ty playing on stage with Jimmy. This is the Diamond in Hollidaysburg.
Jimmy Skinny, right?
Jimmy Skinny with that
Yeah.
sparkle top Les Paul.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder if he still has that.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't think I
I
could
don't
part
know.
with that. Okay, so
All right, what were we
were
doing?
flipping for. So if it lands with ADHDan up,
I just noticed that.
if it lands with ADHDan up,
You go first.
I give first.
You give first, okay? Because this is your show.
Yeah.
There you go. Give me my
Okay.
stuff. Give it.
So first, did you let her know you made it safe?
Made it safe. No, you're good.
And actually, speaking of her, I have something small for her, which
Okay.
isn't like spectacular, but a couple stickers from Liz's women's group, and then a playing card
Okay.
of Liz.
Yeah, dude, we love
So
stickers.
it's like,
A playing card?
yeah, like has like her stats and stuff on the back.
Favorite thing is coffee, family, and donuts.
Yeah, that's
funny.
pretty accurate.
I like it.
And then for Gunner, I have a case playing card,
Oh, wow.
and then some stickers. A case sticker, and then a shark.
Oh, he loves sharks, too.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah, man. That's awesome.
And your daughter, I have no idea.
I'll just take money.
Okay. Okay.
If, like, I don't know. like,
Bitcoin?
no.
No. Okay.
Hard cash. She wants
Hard
that,
cash.
that green in her hand.
I'll think of something.
Okay.
I got that. I got a party mix for you. Just one. I could only spare one.
It's like the grossest thing.
I love it. That's for your daughter.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. She might like it, might not. We'll figure it
might
out.
not.
I'll figure it out.
No idea.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
Then you can just send some money
Okay. Yeah.
if you don't like it.
Some Bitcoin.
You can send $2.
This is not for you, but I just wanted you to see it.
There it is. Yep. No, this is for you, and you can thank me a long time ago.
And I think I remember the story a little better. I think that was in pieces at one point. One of the last times I saw you.
I think I broke it, didn't
I think so. And I think I said, "Oh, I want to take that neck." And you're like, "I don't care." And I
Yeah.
said, "Sign it for me." So I'm pretty sure
Yeah, I
you
did
Sharpied
that.
that.
S-E.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first base I ever bought. No, second base. First base I ever bought was an Ibanez. It was red with a black pick guard. I was like 15.
It's like a P bass, jazz bass style.
Yeah. It was just some crappy thing that I found down at the old. Remember the music store that was down in Juniata, but now it's a gun shop?
I didn't know it was a gun shop now, but
Pioneer Guns.
what was the music store called?
It was only there for a couple months, maybe, whenever I was younger. So maybe nobody. I was probably maybe the only cell that they ever had.
I have a cremated remains discount cemetery
Nice.
sticker for you.
Nice. Love horror. Horror.
He's the horror guy. So I have this DVD
Did you ever see that?
Chillerama. Do you have it?
It's on Netflix. A long time ago.
Well, now you have a physical copy.
Awesome, dude.
Dude, and it's rad. Like,
yeah. I saw it once, and then I was like, this is an outrageous movie. I love it.
Did you see the 4 titles that are on here?
There was one. What was the first one
this should be a
about
quiz.
the zombie at the beginning? Wasn't there like a beginning? I can't.
Well, I mean, the first one listed is Wadzilla.
It's like there's different segments. So there's like a main story with different segments in the main story. So the main story is something to do with a drive-in, I think. And a zombie in a
kick-ass
drive-in.
love letter to the drive-in.
Did you even watch the movie? You're trying to test me on
I
something.
didn't watch this. No, we got Wadzilla.
Yeah.
I was a teenage werebear.
Uh-huh.
The Diary of Anne Frankenstein,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm surprised that hasn't been canceled. And Zom
Who directed this?
B movie.
Oh, Adam Green. And Joe Lynn. Yeah. So these are the guys that made Jersey Hatchet. And then he has a lot of stuff on YouTube. He does like podcasts and stuff.
Oh.
But he does a thing called a scary sleepover, and he does it with like the guy that played Jason. A lot of the Jasons, Kane Hodder. He comes and he sleeps over in his like studio, and they put on like kid pajamas and just like, so he's like laying next to this guy that on film killed the most people, and they're like eating popcorn and watching shit and just talking and eating.
Oh,
you know
that's
what I mean?
such a great idea.
Yeah.
And that's a podcast?
It was like a small thing on like YouTube. It just has episodes. I don't really know. What is a podcast anymore?
I don't know.
A revolution.
Because I feel like this is not a podcast. If you say a podcast is audio, which that's kind of what we
because there's
think
video,
of it.
audio. I mean, are you ever pulling out the audio and putting it on a platform anywhere?
So a couple of the first episodes I think I did, but it was such a pain in the ass because iTunes or Apple Podcasts, they don't support, you can't upload to them. You have to upload to SoundCloud.
Okay.
And then take the RMTP link from that and copy it to. So I was just like, I know how to work YouTube. I'm going to set this
it's
up.
It's easier than, yeah.
And I like the whole experience.
It's for the busy dad that wants to do a podcast.
For the busy, yes.
Yes.
Last thing. I'm pretty sure this is the last thing.
Okay.
So we have Sam Eddie Egger here. He said he wanted a family crest. So I made him a family crest on a Tom. You can pass that
That's
down.
funny because you even have
to the
like
kids.
so like it's like the Destroy Elroy crest on the shirt, and now with my family. That's great. Oh,
and you can turn it that way too, because
what should we do?
I mean, it might be too big. Who knows?
All right,
That looks good.
we'll just put it down here.
I don't care.
All right, you.
You're here for a long time today.
Yeah, unless you want me to get out of here, I'll go. Take this. This is for you. I got you that years ago.
I stapled Velcro to it.
Years ago, I got.
Here's a funny story. So my old house, my room like this was in the attic, and it had like the ceiling like this. Not the Altoona one, the one in Johnstown, but it had the whatever those are called. The ceilings.
Like it was pitched or whatever.
Yeah. So I put this Velcro on, and I had it on like one of the angles, and it looked pretty sweet. Well, one day I was doing work under it, and it fell on me. Damn. I don't know what part of this hit me, but
any metal piece
I was
right there.
feeling that for a long time.
Yeah. That was me going.
Yeah. Yeah, and at the time you were MIA. I didn't know. We'll go there.
Yeah, we'll
go there.
Okay, so you can borrow these.
That's what I'm talking about.
I made that one.
Did you see I wore this shirt today?
Nice.
Friday the 13th.
So they're from Los Angeles?
Yeah, LA.
Yeah, I was looking it up. That's crazy. How'd you get a hold of them, or did they get a hold of you?
I saw an ad for the Kubrick moon landing T-shirt on
Okay.
social media one time. I was like, I have to have that.
Yeah.
So I bought it, and then through the years, just kind of followed them on different platforms, and then was just like, I had a downtime, so I made some commercials for them.
Yeah. Oh.
And-
Did you just make them and send them to him and say,
Yeah.
hey, like, this is what I can do?
Yeah,
That's cool.
that was
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Actually, it was like
That's
not-
hard work. Like, you're putting in the work. Yeah.
I had no intentions of like, I want free stuff. I want
Yeah.
like, use this.
Yeah,
like, it
yeah.
was just, I think you guys are doing something awesome. I want to do this. But then they reached out and we're working on some
Pretty cool stuff.
collaborations.
Oh, yeah.
And we're gonna.
All right.
They might actually be on the pod. Well, they're going to be on the podcast.
What are they gonna do? Fly out here? Or are you gonna do like that? Set up the skeleton thing.
Well, we're in talks.
What's his name? Murphy?
No, Spencer and Colleen.
No, the
Oh, the skeleton.
the skeleton.
I don't have a name for just the skeleton.
I thought you said so. Or no.
Well, Griffin was,
Yeah, the last two podcasts.
yeah. And with Ty, Griffin was still
Sriracha.
hanging around. Sriracha, yeah.
Yeah. Like I told you, I watched that trailer. I gotta find that. I want to watch that.
Do you have Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
I think it's free on there.
Okay. We'll look it up.
Yeah.
And then this one, I tried to make like a wood grain look.
Yeah, that looks rad.
I wanted it to look like planks on a deck or something. You know what I mean? Like a, I don't know,
So, wait, was this just...
a blank. Yeah.
I guess this is different. This is like...
No, you can. I mean, it's something like this. All you gotta do is sand this down. Take all this stuff off here. You got a rivet gun?
No.
They're like $10.
I have some drills, though.
Yeah. I mean, sand this down, heat gun,
Oh,
mold it around, spray paint, clear coat. That's all you need. And I'll say, I am Groot.
just this the rest of the episode.
There you go. Dude, that's pretty cool looking. It's real shiny, though. It looks like you're slimy. So I got those two, if you want to use them for whatever you want. Here's a hat for you. You can just have this one there. There's a hat.
Be good.
You got to have them trucker hats. I'm a big trucker hat person.
Well, let me do this.
And that's from Anxious and Angry. Ryan Young out in Chicago. He has a band called Off With Their Heads. That's one of their albums. And he also makes his own merch. And I told you about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, anxiousandangry.com. And then I saw that one video you had that you made for these people.
Discount Cemetery.
Discount Cemetery. And at the end, you turned around, you had them 3D glasses on, and I
Just-
just instantly texted you. I was like, dude, I have.
Well, those are the ones they give away with the shirts when you buy it.
Well, this came with the DVD. So there's that.
So those are legit.
And then we were out in Asbury Park a couple years ago, and I found these for $1. And they're for old Freddy dead one. Freddy's dead.
Why don't you throw these on and we'll just go a little bit with 3D glasses on. Everything looks pretty sweet. I should do a whole episode 3D. Wonder if I could do it.
I don't know, it'd be kind of hard. You'd have to be like sending out some 3D glasses to people.
Well, I mean, drop enough acid. I don't know if you'd need the 3D glasses.
Oh, last thing.
Last thing.
This is the Sam Edgar
Oh.
YouTube
God.
YouTube award. This is the Sammy.
I
Oh,
don't.
we got to glue the head on.
I kind of like it just being
Here.
loose like that.
Here. So that's yours.
This is for me to keep.
Yeah, that's yours.
Hot damn.
That's the Sammy award. That's Godzilla and well, here's.
What's the story about? Do these arms
Well,
move?
this
No.
was my kid's old toy, and then the dog chewed the face off, and so I took 2 and 2 together, spray painted it gold, threw a Jason head on you, and gave it to you. There you go.
So this might be one of the best things I've ever seen.
Isn't it amazing?
Like, where do I feel
That's
like
like
this
an
needs a
award.
shrine.
That's an award for you. I got you the Sammy Award.
Sammy Award.
That's a Sammy Award. That's a YouTube legit award.
Man, that makes my Tom look like shit compared to this thing.
But it was 2 pieces of toy that I was probably going to throw out. I spray painted gold and gave to you. There you
Yeah,
go.
but that's rad.
Oh,
That
and I
is
glued
so
it. I
good.
glued that arm. Did you see the
Yeah,
arm?
I love the arm.
There you go, buddy.
Was this from a bobblehead?
Yeah. Which the spring broke, so you should just get, it'll go in there, and I bet you can get a spring to go on there, and it would just go like that. So you got this guy that
The head's not attached.
Here, let's just change that with that.
See
We'll
what
put that in there.
happens.
Spray painted gold, Dan. You got yourself that.
I don't know. It looks pretty creepy like that.
Okay, guys. Yeah, just bring that on out. Yeah. I got it.
Just kidding. Just kidding. No, I can't. I have to get all this stuff.
Get out!
I have to get up. No, I have to get all this stuff. I'll ride back up.
What are we doing here? Bobbleheads and
I don't know what we're doing here ever. And that's the best part of it.
all right.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's it. That's all I got for you. I go home now?
Yeah, I think that's everything.
All right.
Go get some snacks. Perhaps a carbonated soda. I hope they have ices.
I've chosen the large tub.
My nipples look like milk duds.
I've got some yellow liquid for your popcorn. And it's non-dairy.